Welcome back to the Mommy Pod. In this empowering episode of the Mommy Pod, we are joined by the incredible Elle Jaye, a catalyst for change, a dedicated mother, and the visionary behind the Thriving Beyond Divorce Summit. Elle's mission is to inspire mothers to prioritize themselves, step fully into their power, and lead their families from a place of abundance. Tune in as we discuss the importance of embracing yourself beyond the role of mom and how doing so can transform not only your own life, but also create a ripple effect of strength and confidence for your entire community. Elle shares her journey of rediscovering her identity, overcoming challenges, and building a life where self-care and resilience come first. Whether you're a mother looking to reclaim your identity, find a supportive community, or gain inspiration from someone who's walked this path, this episode, is your guide to thriving beyond challenges. Get ready for an episode filled with wisdom, practical advice, and a reminder that you are capable of greatness, no matter where you are in your journey. All right, we have Elle Jaye here with us. Let's get to know Elle. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Shantae. Thank you, first of all, for allowing me to come on here. And a little bit about me is that I am a speaker and a coach. I support women as they prioritize themselves so that they can close generational gaps and pour out from a full cup. And from there, that's just, that's me because I have that's my passion
Yeah.
that I have. And that passion came from many places, right? First and foremost, my mother, I saw her pour out herself and she would prioritize herself at times, but other times she didn't. But in being a mother myself, it helped me reflect back and see what she did. Um, and just how she just loved on us the best that she knew how and gave us access to God, gave us access to what it means to really and truly be in relationship with him. And then just know, like she told the one of the things that she told me before she passed away was that she was proud of me. And in telling me that, I didn't know what to think of that, right? But she said she always wanted me to be better than her. And that's where she left it, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. In what way? But she meant it just like that, just that broad. So I want to do the same for my children to make sure that they're better than me, right? Not so much in the comparison sense, but it means to me that my mom felt that she did her job and set me up at a level higher than what she was. So I want to do the same for my children. And I also want to support other women to do that as well.
I love that. I'm so glad we got connected. I feel like you are definitely someone that I want to stay connected with after this conversation.
Thanks. I'm glad we got connected too, Miss Shonda.
Thank you. So, you have such a powerful message about the importance of mothers prioritizing themselves. Why do you believe why do you believe it's essential for moms to see themselves beyond their role as being a mom?
Oh, that's a okay. How much time do we have? All right. Soapbox time. When I'm Elle and you are Shantae. I'm not sure if you're a mother or not. Okay. But we are given names, right? Why is it that for some reason we give up our given name and just everybody just refers to us as mother? That's only a piece of who we are. And I found myself losing L in being into the role of mother and just saying, "Oh, I am a mother." Yes, I am, but I'm also Elle. I'm also a person who works outside the house and all of these different things. And I attend church. I do things in the community. So I'm more than just mother. And that's why it's so like when I think of it, it's like, okay, I'm Elle. I get to make mother, my role as a mother, fit me instead of me fitting the role of mother as defined by what I was conditioned to, by what society says, books, movies, whatever. I get to make the role fit me to where it's mine and not that the role owns me.
Wow. Wow, that is great. I'm taking notes as you're talking. Make the role fit me. That is so amazing. I don't think I've ever heard anybody really say that because I feel, and I am a mother, and I made this podcast. I made this podcast because I lost my mom at a young age. So I didn't really grow up having a mother figure like I would have wanted. But I had really great um mother figures in my life, just not
Yes.
my mom. So I wanted to create this podcast because one, I felt very much alone being a single mom, and two, I wanted to get advice. Not having my own mother, but I had an idea of what I wanted my mother to be like, and a lot of that was just based off of what I saw on TV. So I tried to fit in my brain, I tried to fit a mother role that I saw on TV versus realizing that, you know what, I am me and I am now a mother, but I'm still me, and that's okay. And so I think that I came to that realization, but I didn't really process it like you're saying it. And that really, I love that.
Thank you.
So thank you. No, thank you. I think a lot of people don't think we need that permission. Maybe we need to hear that more. We need that permission to be ourselves and be a mom.
Right. And I'm not sure if it's permission per se. I think it's the perspective because the way I came into that perspective was, again, like my mother was doing what she believed a mother should do, right?
Mhm.
And when she died, when the obituary was written, it was it wasn't her. It was her roles, wife, mother, and servant, and all of the, in the church or, community member. She was an angel in all of these different ways. But where was her identity? How did people know her based on her given name? And I believe because she had, she was a nurse and then became a stay-at-home mom. And that's what ended up defining her. She wanted to go back to school and different things like that, but um, different circumstances got in the way. And then next thing I know, she has early onset dementia in her 50s. So yeah. And I was just like, nope, I'll be doggone if anybody just knows me based on being a wife and a mother. And now a divorced person, now I'm just a single mother. So yeah, and that was it came out of a place of challenge, but I am flipping it and saying, no, I learned from that, not in a sense to as it carries a weight on me, but in a sense to let me elevate the lesson that I learned from what I observed from my mother.
Why is community such a vital part of getting through parenting as a single parent?
Well, um, sometimes we can get into a place where we believe that we fully understand ourselves, that we believe that how we show up is how we intend to show up is how it's being received, right? Well, when we get into community, and a supportive one that will tell you the truth no matter what it may feel like to you. But they're doing it from a place of love, concern, and wanting you to push forward and grow. The reason that is important is because it helps you shift and pivot and change and into who you are really meant to be. It allows your brain to get out of its comfort zone and really be able to say like, oh, okay, i I didn't trust because, and you get to fill out the why, you know, and uncover like, where did that come from? And I suggest a therapist for that because they can help you dig a lot of that out. And then because that's what I did when my mother passed away. um I went to the therapist and I started explaining lots of different things. And this will be one thing that I can share from that experience is the therapist said to me, "You're not your mother." I'm like, "I know I'm not my mother." She's like, "No, you are not your mother." Because obviously there was something in the way I spoke, something in the way I showed up that was obvious to the therapist that I believed that I was my mother because I got into community with a person, right? Then there was another community that I got in front of, and I'm like, it was just after separating or whatever and deciding whether or not I was going to get a divorce, right? And the individuals in this community, I thought I was showing up and nobody could tell a thing. And they were like, "Nah, we saw that your energy changed. You something about you shifted, and we knew something was going on with you." And that's the thing. A lot of times people don't get it that as human beings, we feel, you know, what's going on. We can sense something is going on. And if you're in a community that can pull you aside and say, "Hey, Shantae, I see something different about you. Are you okay?" And then you get to be honest or not. So that's what community is for, sharpening.
Wow. I feel like I'm saying wow after every answer to my question because you give answers I've never heard before. Most people say community is for support and so you don't feel alone, but no one's ever said it's to show you who you are. Show you, yeah. Like
Yeah,
true friends, true people can really show you what you might be hiding from others.
yes. And it's not easy. And you've got to be around you. These have to be like people that you trust
Mhm.
and reciprocate, right? Like not only do you share, they can share and you can reflect back because it's not a place where it's one up, one down. It's like, nah, you're both in this journey together. And a lot of times, women or even mothers, wives, we think in a one up, one down kind of framework. Um, but we're not. We're not. It's not a one up, one down. We are people. And just because we got divorced, just because we're single or never chose to be married but have children, um, in a particular way, it does not matter. We're all still people. And the judgment, and feeling judged and criticized, I believe that's what leads people to that one up, one down kind of situation, that belief, because someone's like really and truly emotionally, mentally, sometimes even physically beating a person down to where they feel like, hey, in comparison to such and such, I am less than. Why in the world are you comparing yourself to somebody else? Well, that's what the world does. Whether it's in university, like some of the schools have it to where your grade is based on whoever made the highest grade. And then it goes down from there. I'm like, what in the world is that? That anyway, so that's the comparison, the competition. Those are the things that have us in that one up, one down mindset, and not believing that we can be in win-win situations where just because I might be vulnerable in a particular area, that doesn't mean I'm completely useless.
Mm. And what advice would you give to moms who feel unsure of where to find that community or support system?
Well, there's definitely like group coaching sessions for single moms, getting into communities even on Facebook for that. And then I coach. I do coach mothers to prioritize themselves, to move themselves in a forward direction, as opposed to staying stuck and staying within the comfort zone, their comfort zone. Um, and what I've done right now, my starting place was Thriving Beyond Divorce. I created that summit to help people. I know it says divorce, but it's anyone who's gone through any kind of breakup or anyone who supports anyone going through divorce, because we put so many things in buckets and separate them out like, oh, she's divorced, that's why that's about, and I'm not divorced, so I don't need to go look at that. I've always been a proponent of, if it interests me, go look, right?
Mhm.
And that's what I do. So I created that summit. It's going on right now. Um, and it is meant to be there to support people that are facing challenges, navigate finances and emotions.
That's so good.
There's, yeah, there's attorneys, there's doctors, there's financial experts, um, fit health and wellness. I tried to cover a lot of different things in this summit. I threw a lot at it
And
because those were areas that supported me when I got divorced.
where can listeners learn more about your summit? I'm going to put your information and links and everything below, but just in case, where can they go to
Yes,
find
they
you?
could go to my Instagram, and in my bio there's a link tree link, and that's how they can get to the link to my summit. And also on Facebook, if you go to my Facebook as well and look at some of my posts recently, I put my link tree link in those comments as well. That is the way to get to it.
Great. And I'm just going to ask you some quick motivational tips for moms or anyone listening, because I do hope that we can inspire just single parents, period. How can parents learn to celebrate small victories and see themselves as resilient in their own lives?
Well, what I would say is have that time of reflection. I know it's so hard though, right? It hard, challenging, because as a single parent, you've given so much energy to your children, to your job, to making sure that nothing falls.
Mm-hmm.
But start small. And it's not easy, but when you start and develop that habit, it will get easier. And don't beat yourself up if, like, you're going and you're like, oh, look, I'm being consistent, it's working. And then something happens that's outside of your control and you kind of get off track. Don't pout, just say, okay, new moment, here I go again, and just
Yeah,
and hop back to it.
I like it. Hop back to it. That's great. What simple daily practices or mindset shifts do you recommend for mothers or parents to start prioritizing their self-care and well-being?
Well, um, I like, well, because of my mother, I do my best to read scripture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've also begun to find motivational speakers that say things that are still that are uplifting and that lead me to think in terms of possibility as opposed to thinking in terms of what I don't have, what I still need. Um, and depending on how far that mindset, how long that mindset has been a part of a person, shifting out of it um, can take time and grace, but at the same, similarly, you can get out of it sooner if you chose to. And one of the things that I'm using, um, it's an actual leadership program um, that that's been 4 months long, and I've shifted my perspective. Um, I shifted my perspective rather quickly. Um, and it helped enhance things that I knew um, about myself. And you guys can, hit me up on Instagram if you want to know more about that program, because it's actually more of an experience rather than a program. So it was a wonderful leadership and emotional intelligence experience.
What is one key message you hope our listeners can take away from this conversation today?
The one key is that prioritizing yourself, putting yourself first, is valid. It is what's necessary in order for a person to really and truly meet the intentions that they have. Because by loving yourself first, caring for yourself first, it expands your ability to allow others to do the same for themselves.
Mm.
And I know I'm talking about the Bible a lot here. Um, it's what I know. I am not trying to convert anyone by any means. In scripture, Jesus said, love God, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So indirectly, God said to love ourselves so that we can better love our neighbors. And when I went to a conference and heard that, it seemed blasphemous to say, love yourself first. But with the time that has passed since that seed was first planted,
Mm-hmm.
I recognize the value in loving yourself first because that really does help you serve others from a place of fullness and wholeness rather than feeling deficient and comparing and manipulating and competing and all those different things. Connect with yourself, know what you want, get in community with other people, um, have conversations with coaches, counselors, whomever you need to, get the support. There's no shame in any of that. Because all of those, the other thing that I want you to take away from here is our subconscious programming. That's a real thing. It really is a real thing. It has more control over us because we're not aware of it. But once we become aware, we can work that out too.
Wow, we got like 5 minutes, but can you give like an example of the subconscious programming?
Yes, kind of we did kind of touch on it a little bit when it came to what is meant by being a mother or even being a wife or being a man. I can't speak to men because I'm not one, but there's so many different perspectives. There were some toxic, non-helpful, non healing perspectives that are out there where we put those roles onto people saying, hey, this should fit you because look,
Mm,
you have a child, or look, you are a spouse of some kind. These are the things that you need to do. This is the job description.
mm-hmm.
But as with any job description, you make it yours. You find that you look at those responsibilities and you do them the way that you, as Shantae, wants to do them.
Well,
There's certain parameters, yes, but you still make it yours.
that's great. Make it yours. I think that might be part of the title for this episode.
Yes, we can, because everything that I'm talking about is thriving, right? And thriving is an acronym. The T stands for take ownership. That's what I'm talking about. Own yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? You own who you are. Then the H, harmonize. You've got to then reconcile who you are with the community that you're in, and
Mm-hmm.
even with the past beliefs that you had about yourself. R, rebound, bounce back. You are more resilient than you give yourself credit for, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
take ownership, T, H, you harmonize, R, you rebound, I, you inspire. Because you own, you harmonize, and you've bounced back, you can now be an example for your children, for your community. That's a place coming from a place of strength, allowing, giving other people that freedom to be who they are meant to be. And then V, what is your vision for yourself? You get to visualize that as you're going through all of this. What's your vision for yourself? And then E is empower,
Mm-hmm.
with taking ownership, harmonizing it all, rebounding, and being an example and inspiring others based on the vision that you have. You can then empower other people. So that's my program. That's how you thrive.
Well, thank you so much for empowering us today. And I urge everyone to run to your Instagram, your Facebook, your website. Can you spell out your Insta or Facebook, whichever one?
Yes, I'll spell out my Insta.
Okay.
Um, it is LJ, ELLEJAYES LLC. That is me on Instagram.
And I'm also going to put that in our show notes so that people can find you. And I'll also link you on our website as well.
Yes. So I welcome everyone to come to Thriving Beyond Divorce. And this started on the 15th, and there were some phenomenal speakers that I interviewed during the summit. And if you want the replays, there is the option to do VIP. And as part of that VIP program, that VIP upgrade, you will have the opportunity not only to have the recordings, but you have a 30-minute thriving call with me and 1 month free of group coaching. So if you want to get into a community, hop
Mhm.
on in, upgrade to VIP to where
Mhm.
you can get that. Plus, there will be an opportunity to have a live Q&A with some of our speakers.
Oh, that's so great. All right. Well, thank you so much. I am going to go over to your website when we get off of this call. I am so thankful for you giving us all of these empowering tips and nuggets of knowledge. You are incredible. Thank you so much for taking the time to empower our mommy pod today.
Oh, you are so welcome, Shantae. Thank you for this opportunity and for trusting me to share in within this community. And I hope that what I've shared is empowering for others. And just know, you guys, it's okay to prioritize yourself. Let go of guilt, the shame, and push forward because it's in you. It's in there. You
Yeah,
got this.
that's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Was that not an incredible episode? She has so many amazing tips, and so much more information is to be found on her website. Make sure you check out Thriving Beyond Divorce Summit. It is a free virtual event. You don't want to miss it. Let's continue to build a community where every mom can thrive from a place of strength, abundance, and self-love. Find the links in our show notes, and remember, prioritizing yourself isn't just an act of self-care, and it's not selfish. It's a declaration of your worth. You are worth it. Take the time for yourself. Have a good day. Was that not an incredible episode? She has so many amazing tips, and so much more information is to be found on her website. Make sure you check out Thriving Beyond Divorce Summit. It is a free virtual event. You don't want to miss it. Let's continue to build a community where every mom can thrive from a place of strength, abundance, and self-love. Find the links in our show notes, and remember, prioritizing yourself isn't just an act of self-care, and it's not selfish. It's a declaration of your worth. You are worth it. Take the time for yourself. Have a good day.